Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Snort, snort, snort.
Kogan. Drip.
Snort, snort.
I got the drip. Go.
In regards to yesterday's segment and announcement on ReviewTechUSA, first of all, overall, people liked the fact that I got caught up with ReviewTechUSA and all of his antics. People are having a good laugh at it. Especially because I was watching the Kino Casino guys react to him, and it was like, you know, it was funny because people are like, it's the ultimate react loop. So you made content, Rich reacted to your content, Kino Casino reacted to Rich's content, you reacted to Kino Casino's content, but it all started with your content. When you think about it, I want you to think about how crazy that is. Just simply because I'm a creator and I make content, there are people who react to it, and it just creates a giant circle, ecosystem of content because I'm a creator. If I were to turn off my camera today and say I'm done and never come back, there would be an entire group of creators who would be like, fuck, what are we doing now? Phil's gone, right? And I'm not saying about Kino Casino, they react to a ton of shit. I'm just saying in general, you see how there's like these circular ecosystems that grow as opposed to, you know, people who just sit in there making their own content. Like, that would happen. There'd be entire YouTube channels. I'd be like, oh, fuck, what do we do if Phil is gone and doesn't make content anymore? It's just wild to think that, right? Anyway. So, yesterday I did this big segment about Review Tech, right? And the general consensus is, great segment, but we're not so sure about how you ended it. What do you mean? Well, the end of the segment was basically, for me, I wanted to have Review Tech on my podcast for a couple of reasons. Okay? Reason number one, hold on, because I have to do a freaking conversion here. So silly. Are you serious? This is ridiculous. Hold on. Gotta do something here. This is Norwegian. Okay. I received a Norwegian super chat from Nulla Viking. And I can't say this because what he said is something that I can't say on YouTube. But then he says, I'm doing an edgy super chat. Fun to see you in the sector. Glad to see you're more fun and relaxed than you used to be. Thank you, Nulla Viking. I appreciate that. That's actually the biggest super chat of the day. It's the equivalent of $11.24. So Nulla Viking has unseated Dark Ethan with that super chat, and that gets us up to $43 in contributions today so far. Well, nearly a third of the way there to the goal. Thank you so much. Okay, getting back on track here. So yesterday, after the reacting to Review Tech segment, I basically said I'm talking with the man about having him appear on the show, and we haven't hammered in the date yet. And honestly, that's mostly because of me, because I don't know my exact work schedules because they fluctuate, right? When I told you guys that I'm going to probably have Review Tech on the show, and there's a couple of reasons why I want him on, the reaction was very mixed, to say the least, okay? We had people coming, you know, leaving comments. People were tweeting me. People were DMing me. People were emailing me. I'm not kidding. And they were like, you should not have this man on your show, okay? Now, allow me to explain my rationale of why I'm considering having Review Tech on this podcast as an interview. Okay, number one, we have tremendous history, correct? I mean, this guy has essentially crapped on me for 10 years on YouTube, arguably made hundreds of thousands of dollars on my back. Again, if I wasn't a content creator and I wasn't making stuff, he would have nothing to make fun of. But because I am, he does. And a day when he made fun of me is a day he would get views and make money from his audience. And it's funny because you would say, well, if that's the case, isn't it just because, you know, you're easy to make fun of or whatever? Yes and no. All right. I feel like I'm an easy target, or I was an easy target. Not anymore because now I clap back. But I feel like I was an easy target at one point. And because, you know, when everyone's ganging up on me, this is how you don't play, spawning this big negative movement against me. If no one ever has my back and no one's ever going to speak up for me in any rational way, I'm just talking about myself and no one really gives a shit, right? Really, when someone gets your back, things change, correct? So, he's crapped on me for 10 years. He's made hundreds of thousands of dollars on my name. He even fucking sold merch with my likeness on it without permission. I want you to think about how crazy that is, right? So for me to have him on my show and to finally have this conversation with him about what the fuck is he up with him? Why did he latch onto me in this pretty unhinged way? Why does he keep talking about me? To this day, he's still doing it. I mean, I literally just yesterday was reacting to him reacting to me, the casino reacting to him. Like, why is he still doing it? Right? How does he not understand that if he would just do something else, something different, something creative, it would be better for him? His same shtick of let's crap on Phil today doesn't work anymore. It works for a very small percentile of his audience, and it works if he wants to court my detractors, right? So really, that's all he wants. All he wants is the detractors' attention. He'll get it, but that's all he's ever going to get. He's never going to grow. He's never going to have content that's going to have longevity. It's just going to be, I need money today. I got to turn on my stream, rag on Phil for a couple hours while popping edibles, and then go back off stream, and that's it. That'll be his life forever, right? He really needs to change things. You know, it's just stupid. So number one, just the fact that we have this history, right? But it's always been one-sided. It's always been him crapping on me. But now, the opportunity to have him on my show, in my realm of existence, in my space, and to have a real conversation with him about what is going on with this guy and what goes through his mind, I think it could be fascinating. Okay, really. Just honestly, I think it would be fascinating. Now, outside of that, there's the whole drama aspect. Let's be honest here, right? Like the drama stuff. And if ever there's going to be drama, right? Definitely me and him, mano a mano, on a show, going back and forth, that's going to be drama. You just know it is. Like, what are the chances I have him on the show and it ends up being the most cordial conversation possible? Like, what are the chances of that happening? Probably 0.00001%. Right? Maybe. I mean, that's that's all I could think of, right? I think, here's the thing. I think it makes sense. The idea of the interview makes sense. But here's why some people have reached out to me, okay? There's two major reasons. Reason number one, people are not convinced that Rich is going to show up on the show and be a serious guest, right? They're actually convinced that he's going to come on the show and actually try to pull stunts and shit. Like, for example, we were just watching the video yesterday. He called me the hard R, right? I want to, you know, people are saying, do you think the mic boost got erased? Hold on. People think the mic boost got erased? Nope, it's still there. The +3 decibel, it's there. There was an airplane flying over my house, and it was making a lot of noise, so maybe the microphone muted that, and because of that, it was silencing me, but now it should sound normal again. It was a really loud airplane going over my house right now. That's probably what you heard. Okay, so anyway, yeah, I mean, he literally called me the hard R in his content, and it's like, what the hell? Never in my life, and listen, I grew up in Bridgeport, Connecticut, which a lot of people laugh. Connecticut is this snooty, rich state. No, it's not. There's a very small portion of Connecticut where a lot of rich people live. Everywhere else is kind of ghetto. And I grew up in a kind of ghetto area, all right? I didn't grow up affluent or rich or anything like that. And I lived in like nearly ghetto areas, right? I knew people who were really bad into drugs and gangs and bad things. Not once in my life have I ever been called the hard R, okay? Growing up in a bad area, it never happened. But now, at 42 years old, I'm being called the hard R by a man in his 40s who's also a content creator. And it's just fucking bizarre. Okay? So basically people are like, we don't trust that ReviewTech's going to come on your show and act professional. He might come on and try to pull stunts. He might try to do something extreme that's going to get you in trouble on YouTube, or he might not be able to hold his tongue and he says something stupid, and now you get in trouble for it because it's in your content. Okay? That's reason number one. And people don't want him on the show, okay? The other reason is very simple. Basically, people, I hate to say it, are not really wanting Rich to get any kind of attention, popularity, or positivity thrown his way. Basically, they're like, no, you have to understand that in regards to ReviewTech, this has been a downfall that's been a long time coming, and he deserved it. And he was insulated from it for a long time because no one really was looking at him. He had 1 million subs, and everyone thinks that 1 million sub YouTuber is kind of protected. I mean, there's some exceptions there like Boogie, but for the most part, like, he was insulated from any criticism. This year, all the criticism got thrown towards him, and he's literally just blown over like a deck of cards. It was always a house of sticks that looked like a house of bricks, but now the house of sticks is collapsed, and people don't want this guy to get any kind of a foundation back. Some people have actually said that if I have him in this interview and I don't destroy him, which I could do, I already have, right? Like, I literally already have done this. And people are like, if you have him on this interview and you don't destroy him, and he comes off at least even looking half normal as a person, you're actually boosting this guy and you're helping him, and you shouldn't do that. I've actually been told, and I don't know if this is true or not. I'm sure Rich is going to watch this portion of my show and respond to it. But I've been told that Rich has actually tried to reach out to others and have conversations or appear on shows, and they've said, no, we don't want you. You know, no, absolutely not. That's why he's not streaming that much. That, you know what I mean? Like, all his like, any kind of collaborations or good graces that he had have fallen apart over the last year with all the controversy around him. And people don't want to be associated with this man. So for me to have him on the show actually does him a favor, because it's going to get people talking about him again at a time when literally everyone just wants to forget about this guy and have him move on and be forgotten and erased from the internet. All right? I mean, the Kino Casino guys were saying it themselves. It's just very weird. This guy has over 1 million subs on YouTube, but he's losing 5,000 subs a month at an exponential rate. It's increasing, actually. And he goes on stream, and he's only getting a couple hundred viewers, right? He's only getting like 200, 300 viewers tops on his streams. So where did his audience go? They're gone. He has 1 million dead subs who don't care about him or his content. So why am I going to give him the avenue to basically come on my show and be seen in any kind of a light? Even if it's a negative light, it's still a light. It's a highlight, and he wants the highlight right now. That's why he's reached out to me. I gave him the ultimatum. I said, this is it, your last chance. You don't have to respond, but if you don't, you're not going to be on the show ever again. And then all of a sudden he jumped and said, oh yeah, I want to be on the show, right? Because in reality, he wanted to be on the show all along, and he's realizing this is his last chance to try to get any kind of attention. So, and by the way, this is all speculation. This is what I'm hearing. This is not facts, okay? This is what I'm hearing from people. A ton of people contacted me in 24 hours to tell me this, and I'm like, so I don't know what to do, because everyone was of the impression they wanted him to be on the show. Everyone was like, yeah, have him on as a guest. We want him as a guest. This is great. But now I actually finally got the guy to respond 2 months later, right? And now it's like, after what happened, we already felted the guy in his documentary, and he's definitely fallen off, you know. No, I meant what I said. If he does come on this show and he is high, or he's popping edibles, or there's any indication that this guy is on drugs or anything, he's gone. I'm just going to hang up. I will flush him. You know, I mean, I want to have an appearance that's a real conversation. I don't want this to be, oh, he's going to appear and then he's going to be taking it like all jokes and acting like an asshole. And then again, what if he says or does something that's extreme or whatever, you know? So I don't know. Let me put it this way. Right now, the date's not locked in, and that's on my end anyway, because I need to know my schedule. I don't know my schedule right now. Okay? I don't. Once I know it for like the next 1 to 2 weeks, then I can decide the dates to lock anything in, or I could decide to not have him on my show. I could change my mind. It's my show. I can do whatever I want with it, right? There's no commitment here. There's no contracts in place. I have several people interested in being on my podcast. I have one person that I feel it would be a very controversial interview, but don't worry, this is not a person who I have bad blood with whatsoever. But this would be a pretty controversial interview to have with this person for interesting reasons. And that's all I'm going to say, because if I say another word, it will spoil it, and I don't want to spoil it. But this would be a pretty interesting appearance, okay? Obviously, you guys know I've been talking with Wings and Boogie. Boogie likely will end up talking with me about, hard scheduling his appearance within the next week or so. So I might have Boogie on the show as well. I don't know. Well, I'm working on it. Wings I've talked with. Wings absolutely has committed to being on this show as a guest, but he's got personal stuff going on behind the scenes. And he basically said, I can't schedule my appearance with you now, and I feel bad about it because I want to, but will you allow me to be on your show when I'm ready to come back? And I said, yeah. I said, dude, totally 100%. You can come on the show when you're ready. I get it. Personal shit always takes preference. This is not like, oh, you're blowing your chance to be interviewed by me because you got shit going on. You can't appear right away, So there's not much I can really do in that regard. You know what I mean? So I want him on the show, and he'll be on when he's good and ready. And I'm not going to pressure him about the shit either. Like, that's fucking annoying, right? Oh, so, all right, you agreed to be on the show, but I know you got personal shit going on. Now I'm gonna hunt him down and bug him every few days about it. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna give it a while. I'll probably give it a couple weeks, check in with him, see how he's doing, and then go from there. I'm not gonna be some nagging idiot. I hate that shit when people are clingy and shit and they won't leave you alone. So I've already got one interview that's likely happening this week coming up. I've got a very controversial, interesting interview that will happen likely sometime this month. And there's the possibility of Review Tech, and there's the possibility of Boogie and a couple others too. It's just weird because like I told you guys, it all happens at once, right? So in August, everything was happening at once, and everything was lining up and all this content. And then in September, it kind of slowed down and fizzled out. Now, all of a sudden, boom, everything's hitting me again at once. For fun stuff going on. And I'm like, oh crap, all right. So, I'm trying to take it in stride, and I'm trying to not get overloaded because I know that you guys want gameplay. I know that you guys want progress. I know that you guys want this kind of content like Silent Hill 2 and stuff like this. I don't want it to be, well, I'm going to play this game today, but I have no idea when I'll start the gameplay or how much we'll get done today because I'm doing an interview, and the interview could spill over, and we could have a decompression, and that's half my stream. I don't want to be doing that every day. At the same time, I definitely feel like this is a fun opportunity for me to branch out and be doing the new stuff and bringing in new audience with it, right? So, there you go. Oh, by the way, one other funny thing, and I have to bring this up. Let me see if I can actually show you what I mean. Hold on a second here. I just have to bring this up because I just find it so hilarious. I have to find the example here. Here, okay. I gotta show you this. All right. This is just too funny. We'll do a mini segment here. Ready for a little mini segment, everybody? Okay. So I told you guys that the reason, all right, that I have had certain people blocked on Twitter is because I need to use Twitter for business purposes, correct? Remember, I said this a week or two ago. I said, all the time people say, why am I blocked on Twitter? Why am I blocked? Why'd Phil block me? It's because people will tweet me and they'll involve me in these stupid, like, saga. Oh, shit, I fucked up my camera. These stupid sagas, this drama nonsense. And as you know, I don't want to be involved in it. Or they'll spam a bunch of bullshit at me that I don't care about. And when they do that, then all of their audience follows suit and I get inundated with crap. So here's a perfect example of this, okay? Look. ReviewTech is tweeting me. Let's reenact this together. Do you really think I'm going to click this? And someone responded, I love that there's a cat in the video, so Jasper can join in too. Right? But like, this guy's timeline is so bizarre. See, look at this one. You're getting grandpa excited. What is this? ReviewTech tweets me this. What the fuck is this? Right? What is this? Who would want to possibly see this? Look at this shit. And this is the stuff that he tweets all the time. Like, literally, this is the garbage that he puts onto fucking... Look, here's another one. Oh, it's the same one. There was another weird one that he did about cucumbers. Yeah. Look at this. Here are men wrestling a cucumber on an oriental rug. Make sure to pay attention to the details of the image. Like, what? Like, what is going on in the mind of this person, right? So this is the shit that ReviewTech tweets me constantly. Do you understand why I blocked him years ago? Why I wanted nothing to do with this guy on Twitter? Because this is the shit he puts on it. So here I am. Okay, I want to get news articles for today's show. Or I want to know what's going on. People are talking about me. Maybe someone has responded to something I posted with something important, information I need to know. No, I open up my timeline and it's a bunch of fucking posts like this. With everyone responding to it, like all the responses to it. See 11 responses. And of course, I'm tagged in all fucking responses. So I would see them all. And it's like, what the I don't want to see this shit. So that's why these people get blocked on Twitter. All right. Now, in this case, he's not blocked. He's muted. So he doesn't even know this. Okay. But I don't see any of these tweets. Like he's tweeting like this. I don't see this tweet. What I see is the response tweet to it. So all I see is this, birds, you're getting Grandpa excited. I look at it, and I was like, it's another ReviewTech tweet. I'm not going to click this. Like, I'm just not going to do it. There's no fucking point in me clicking on here. Because if I click it, it's just going to be stupid. Like, what are the chances that I click on anything on his fucking timeline, and it's going to be something of any intelligence or interest? It's just going to be another dumb fucking thing that no one cares about. And then I take the bait. I say, let me check it out, and I click it, and it ends up being this. And it's like, what the fuck, man? Why did I click on it? I'm so dumb. I fell for the bait again, right? So now I hope you guys understand this is why people get blocked on Twitter. It's not because, oh, I don't like them, and I actively find people. Or the other day, oh my God, when Cog said, the Kino Casino told Phil to block me on Twitter, so he did. That's literally never happened. There's never been a time ever in my entire history on the internet where someone came to me and said, you must block someone on Twitter or social media because I want you to. That's never happened, and I've never done it. It's because people are morons. And they'll post, like, I guarantee you the reason Cog's blocked, he probably did something stupid like this too. He did a dumb tweet, a negative tweet about me. And you know what I'm saying? It's like, what the fuck? It's fucking annoying. I don't want to bother with this shit. Really? Someone just said the tree is crooked and it's driving them nuts. Well, it doesn't really, did that do anything? Well, now it's, there you go. The tree is perfectly straight. Amazing. Now you won't be driven nuts. There you go. Anyway, so there you go. That's why that stuff happens on social media. Trust me, I don't have time to fucking care so much about social media that I'm sitting there and I need to block this person today who I really dislike. Oh, someone told me to block this person. Let me block this. No, it's like, I open up my Twitter. Oh, let me look for news. Oh, God, what is this filth in my timeline? Just block it so I don't have to see it. Okay, now I can use Twitter to do work for my podcast today. Like, that's literally how it works, and that's what happens, okay? The Red King did a $5 super chat. He says, who do you think has your back besides Kino Casino right now? Well, here's the thing. I'm not working with anyone, correct? Let's be honest. Have I actually reached out and done collabs with other people? I mean, no. If I reached out and did collabs with other people, then perhaps they'd be like, oh, they have your back or whatever. But I'm really not doing that. The problem is when I had a whole month of collabing in August, which I did, if you think about it. So I was on the Kino Casino show. Then we did the co-op React. Then I was on their show again. Then we did gameplay, right? And then I started doing interviews. And when I did that, I got backed the hell up with my own content. I had to skip games because I was doing so much collab work that I wasn't doing my regular content at all. And a lot of people were upset about that. Notably, my longtime viewers and supporters were upset because I wasn't getting, progress enough in the stuff I was doing. So in September, I tried to balance it, but what ended up happening was with the casino guys gone, I didn't really do any collabs. I did some interviews, but I didn't do any collabs. So with that, now all of that momentum of the collabs breaks apart and falls down, right? Like right now, I could be doing collabs. There's actually been some people who contacted me about not only like interview segments, but doing some gameplay together. And I kind of told them, thanks for the offer, but I gotta calm down right now because I've been too much into that for a whole month. I was into that, and my audience is kind of a little annoyed at me. So because of that, I haven't done anything. Right now, I am working on doing some collabs. Yes, one of them is with Kino Casino, and there may be a couple others as well moving forward. It depends. It depends a lot on me, on how far do I want to go and lean into this. Because already, like I told you guys, all of a sudden now I've got like 3-4 people all lined up and interested in interviews. Like boom, 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 boom. And I could do a bunch of interviews, but then I'm taking away from my podcast and I'm taking away from my content if it goes too long, right? And every time I do a collab, that's taking away from doing content on my own channel. So I don't know. I have to really think hard about what benefits more or less, right? I guess we'll see. But anyway, yeah, let's continue to explore all this. Does anyone right now outright have my back besides Kino Casino? No, and I don't even think Kino Casino fully has my back, right? They're real guys, and if they think that there's bullshit or they think that someone is, doing something stupid or silly, they call it out. And they have the power to do that, and they should do that, right? So it's not like we're best buds. I'm not third chair on their show, which I know there's a joke that fills the third chair. I haven't been in their content in a month and a half, right? They just came back for a week. I'm not involved with their content. See, like, that's not the case. But, from time to time, that'd be pretty cool to do stuff with them. Okay. Patrick did a super chat, $2. Take the high road, let him dig his own grave. He's talking about Review Tech. Well, I mean, here's the thing. If I have Review Tech on the show, and I'm going to be honest with you, I'm going to ask certain questions. I am. And it's up to him to answer them however he wants, right? But if he just lies or gives bullshit answers, right? Do you just let it go and be nice, or do you press him? Because you could say the same thing if you would flip the situation. What if before I had done my big react to my own documentary and it fessed up to the bullshit stuff that I'd done over the years, right? He could have easily had me on his show and done exactly the same thing. Asked me the questions, I could have given him bullshit answers, and he could have either pressed me or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I honestly don't know. Because the truth is, at the end of the day, I don't believe that man is going to change. I think that he sees whenever he's basically crapping on me as a payday. Like, if there's a day with nothing going on, and he has nothing to talk about, and he needs to make some money, he turns on his stream, he watches a video of mine, and he craps on it, and he makes profits because my detractors are dumbasses and throw him money, right? So that's it. Like, that's his thing now. What does he have? If he doesn't have Dark Side Phil, what does he have? Lolcow Live? Does anyone care about him crapping on Lolcow Live? Right? So what does he have? I mean, what would his content even be? I don't even know, because it's mostly me. So I don't even know what he would be doing, honestly. He'd have to do something new. He'd have to think of something creative and different to do in his content, and I think that's the problem. He can't do that. He's gotten to the point in his career where there's just nothing left to do, because the problem is he's run himself into this corner, correct? He's the one who conditioned his audience to expect a certain kind of content by doing that easy, lowbrow, punching down content for so long. His audience that he used to have when he reviewed tech, when he played games, hell, even when he talked about news, that audience is gone. They left him. They're still subbed because he still has 1 million subs, but none of them watch the content. They all hightailed it the fuck out of there. I mean, it's pretty sad. I'm on my standard podcast. I have 478 viewers, and he can't even get that for his own streams. I have 478 viewers with, what, a fifth of supposedly his audience, and I have more viewers than him? It doesn't even make sense, right? So that's what I mean, is at this point, from what we're seeing from his content, I don't think he could change. I think he's stuck where he is, but that's his own doing. He created his own situation, okay? And that's his own fault. That's literally his own doing, his own making, his own fault. He shouldn't have had himself be run into the wall like he has. He could have gone down the path of balance, or the path of, hey, every once in a while I'll do this kind of content, but man, I really want to maintain some legitimacy on the internet. But the moment, like I said, once you put the clown makeup on, it doesn't wash off. The moment he took his shirt off, the moment that he started sucking a cucumber, kissing a chicken, making lolcow style content, only having views and attention because he's crapping on others, he destroyed any credibility he had as a content creator who people would care about in a serious nature. and now he can't do good content anymore. He can only do crap. So I could very well have Rich on my show. We have a very cordial, civil conversation. We finally talk about the meaningful topics between us, and we could have agreements and everything by the end. Okay, fine. And we could be totally cool with each other. And then the next day, I would expect him to completely turn on his stream and crap on me for another entire session, despite the fact the day before we had a great conversation. Like, I'm just being honest. Like, I feel that that's what would happen. I mean, literally the day that people found out that his daughter was ill, I messaged him to basically say, I'm really sorry to hear that. You know, you have my condolences. I wish you the best. He offers to have me on his show. I said, all right, I'll look into it. Maybe. And then he craps on me on Twitter that same day. Just dumps all over me, making fun of me. It's like, dude, what kind of a person does that? Right? And then his excuse for it was, well, that's because it was not real. Phil was trying to save face. And this, like, save face. Like, Rich, no one on the internet likes me. No one. Right? So how can I save face? By simply coming to you and saying something nice to you at a time when you probably could benefit from some people being nice to you and your family. Right? Like, what face am I saving? I did it in a DM. I didn't fucking publicly do it. I did it in a DM. No one was going to know that I did that. He's just insane with the things that he says. He just, you know, all his bad behavior, he can't stop himself from doing it. It's the only way he gets views and money. And then he tries to justify it with the most ass-backwards shit that makes no sense. There's no intention of me saving face. It's the same thing when Boogie announced that he had cancer. I had reached out to him behind the scenes, and we had a nice conversation in his DMs about how I felt bad and don't worry, you know, you're going to tough through it and all of that. And it was a nice conversation that may have actually led to something, but then it didn't because the whole Lol Cow Live thing happened, the drama there. But I was just being nice. Like, I can't just be nice to people. Why not? Why am I not allowed to just be nice to someone? Right? Why does everyone have to A-log me for it? Like, oh, how dare you be nice? You're a piece of shit. Wait, what? No, being nice does not equate to I'm a piece of shit. That's not how life works. People can be nice to each other, and the world will be a much better place if people would learn to just be nice to each other at times when people need that kind of behavior to get by, right? But instead, it's always about, oh, there's some agenda. There's some hidden fucking incentive. There's all this. There's all that. It's like, get the fuck out of here. Really. Like, not everyone is a snake. Maybe you are. And that's why you think everyone else is too. But not everyone is a snake. I don't know, like really, when did I snake anyone? I've made dumb decisions and made mistakes in the past. You know, the whole Project 7 thing where people wanted money and I wasn't aware they wanted money because I was basically a dumb, ignorant person who didn't ask the right questions. You know, I was told up front people didn't want money. And we were doing the whole thing and no one was getting paid. And then they get upset about it and they cancel and back out of it. Never told me they wanted money, but, you know, that's on me. I was the one who was kind of spearheading the whole project to begin with, so it's kind of my fault, right? But I didn't snake them. It wasn't like I told them I was going to do one thing and then I did another, or I was pretending to be nice to get something out of them to milk them and then fuck them over. That was, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've learned from my mistakes. I wouldn't go into a relationship like that anymore without a contract in place at all. Right? Like, any relationships I have now that are business related, there's a contract in place. I'm not stupid anymore. I always lay out contracts so that way there's no misunderstandings, there's no misrepresentations. Everyone knows what they're going to get out of something that I'm involved in. Okay? But there's no snaking there. There's no, double crossing, backstabbing, looking to get over. Right? That's apparently what ReviewTech is doing or trying to do or he has done it already. So, I don't know. So really, I mean, here we are. We just talked about this. We've talked about this for a while today. And honestly, I don't even know if I've come to a further determination about it or not yet. I don't even know if I've convinced myself to have him on the show or to not have him on the show. I just don't even know. I'm not sure. I'm uncertain on if I should have him as a guest or not. And I think we got to keep talking about it to figure this out.
I got the drip going. 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 It's like a faucet that's dripping. You can't make it stop. So what do you want me to do? Have a mute button that every second I'm tapping the mute button just in case I'm gonna have to clear? Like, this is what I mean. These dumb kids. This is what it is. It's dumb kids.